Well, I suppose it's nearly as big as the ones we used to have.
It'll be biggest round here. You haven't got any more wood, have you?
No, sorry. Tell you what I've got down at the garage. I've got a big pile of oily cotton waste. You stuck that in the middle of there, we'll get it going beautifully.
We'll come round for it.
Okay.
So, with Mr. Greatrix backing out, there's nobody to supervise the fire, you see. Well, I know for a fact that Jerry's very worried.
Well, if Jerry's that worried, why doesn't he supervise it? He didn't mention it this morning.
Oh, no, he didn't know about Mr. Greatrix then. Anyway, it's the annual meeting of his cycling club tonight. And, well, he's up for chairman, so he has to go.
Well, don't come to me asking for any help, love. If I had my way, there wouldn't be anything to supervise. No bonfire, no fireworks, nobody blowing themselves up.
Oh, then.
Yes, that fella who can supervise something for you. Very good at supervising, aren't you, Ernie? Yeah.
Oh, look, Len, I'd like a word about it. Story of my life. Being ignored.
Mine too.
Supervise what, anyway?
Oh, you wouldn't, would you, Mr. Bishop? It's the communal bonfire tonight. We're having ever such trouble to get someone to supervise it. Well, Jerry would, but he's got to go to a meeting of the Velos, you see.
Meeting of the what?
Oh, the Weatherfield Velocipedes. It's the new name of his cycling club.
Oh, really?
Oh, well, would you supervise the fire?
Oh, I don't think so. I don't think I possess the necessary stamp of authority to keep a bunch of budding Guy Fawkes in order. Oh. And between ourselves, I tend to find fireworks rather alarming, even snowstorms. Sorry, love, I've got to go.
Perhaps you'd ask Mrs. Bishop.
Oh, she won't stir outside the door tonight, won't Emily? Working on the principle of what goes up must come down, she's frightened of being peppered by spent rockets. Sorry, I must go.
Married? Didn't you know? I don't believe it.
Well, sorry, love. I thought everybody knew me now.
You're having me on, aren't you?
I'm not, love. Ken and Janet.
Janet?
Yeah. Hey, she doesn't look like a Janet, though, does she? Well, anyway, they arrived back yesterday tea time and blithely announced they got wed.
But they weren't even engaged.
I know. Obviously, Ken's not as cautious as he seems. Or maybe it's her who's the Speedy Gonzales.
I don't believe it. I just don't believe it.
Hey, I honestly thought you knew, love. Otherwise, I wouldn't have just blurted it out like that. Still, you had to find out sometime.
No, he can't possibly be married.
Well, he is, love. And you've got to face that fact.
But he's only been going out with her for a few weeks.
Well, long enough to decide to pop the question, obviously.
He's been taking me out on and off for months.
Yeah, well, that's the way the cookie crumbles, isn't it? I warned you how some of us are just rubbing rags for fellas, didn't I? Apparently Janet Reed isn't.
Rotten rat. A rotten, lousy rat.
That's better, love. You have a good curse. You'll feel a lot better for it. Then when you meet him and her, treat them both with complete contempt. That's what I'd do. I think.
I won't be stopping round here to meet him, Rita. I think I'd kill him if I did. I should have gone weeks since, when he was messing around with you.
Don't be daft, love.
No, I'm not being daft. I can't take any more humiliation. Not at his hands, any road. I'll be better off out of it.
Are you skinny now?
I've never known anybody who enjoyed his food so much.
Only when it's good.
Oh, what you just had good?
Fair.
Praise indeed.
Well, she cooks a good breakfast, I'll say that for her. Just have to wait and see what she does with dinner.
Well, I think you'll be very pleasantly surprised.
Well, we'll see, won't we?
You two finished? I wouldn't mind washing up.
Yeah, I finished, sir.
What about you, Mr. Tatlock?
I thought you were going to call him Uncle Albert.
No, but I'm not her uncle, am I?
No, but...
He's got a point, Ken. I'll stick to Mr. Tatlock. Until I know him a bit better, anyway. Do you want another piece of toast or anything?
No, thanks. No, I've had enough.
That'll be the day.
Pardon?
Nothing.
What time do you like lunch?
Do you mean dinner?
I mean dinner.
12-ish.
Right. Anything you fancy?
No, I'll leave it to you.
Which means he fancies everything.
Oh, no, I don't, clever clogs. I just fancy what I fancy, which I think I'm entitled to at my age. But look, I'll tell you something. I'm not half as finicky about my food as what you are. As I'll Valerie be able to testify if the poor lass were here. You know, you haven't got a good bargain in that chap. Not by a long chalk.
Yeah.
you've upset him. You could try and be a bit more diplomatic with
Yeah, it
him.
brings out the worst in me, Uncle Albert. Always did.
He's an old man. He needs mollycoddling.
Mollycoddling? Uncle Albert needs mollycoddling as much as I need a new dress. He's your original crusty old codger. In fact, I think he spends most of the time trying to work out things to grumble about.
Rubbish. He just needs handling right. Like you. Get yourself out of that chair and come and help me wash up.
Well, we just can't make her budge. Emily's practically made herself horse-try.
This is what comes of making independence your way of life. You can take it too far.
Well, what is there left for us old folk except our spirit of independence?
Oh, don't be ridiculous, Mr. Tatlock.
Wow.
The doctor has said that Mrs. Sharples needs a rest. Now, she can get that rest with her friends in St. Anne's. It's not independence, it's just obstinacy.
Can you help, Len?
I think Mrs. Sharples is worried about her job at the community centre. She might lose it.
I suppose so, but she'd never admit it.
I'll go round there, see if I can talk some sense into her.
Oh, would you?
I don't promise anything.
I'll be grateful.
See what I can do.
Oh, thanks a lot, Len.
Oh, what's your selection of fireworks like?
We do not stock fireworks in the cabin, mate. In my book, you might just as well put guns in kids' hands.
Well, you discover something new every day, don't you?
What's that, then?
Our Leonard doesn't like penny bangers.
He's completely anti-fireworks, thinks they should be outlawed by law, and I tend to agree with him.
Oh, come on, Mrs. Walker. I've had some marvellous fun with fireworks in my past. There's nothing like a good bonfire.
Here, here. And anybody who says anything different is either a killjoy or the pastor. Have I said something?
Just committed one of your many faux pas, dear, but not to worry, it won't be the last.
Sorry, Mrs. Walker.
You like a good bonfire, then, do you, Alan?
Yes, I do. You know how some people get drawn towards water? I get drawn towards bonfires like magnets there.
Then you're just the man that Mavis is looking for.
Come again?
Look, they need somebody to supervise the bonfire tonight. So far, there's been no takers.
What about the parents?
Well, you know, the parents around here, their ambition is to see as little of their children as possible.
Why don't you do it, Alan, and I'll give you a hand. If Mrs. Walker will let me have the night off, that is.
I rather think your presence will be required here, Bet.
Oh, well, it were worth a try.
Well, what do you say, Alan?
Oh, no. I mean, it's one thing liking a bonfire, it's another thing trying to look after it.
Well, somebody's got to be responsible.
Absolutely.
All right?
Oh, great.
What exactly is it you like about bonfires, Alan?
Well, it's the whole spectacle, you know, and the sense of community fun. We don't get too much of that these days. There's nothing like the simple pleasures of a simple bonfire.
Simple, Alan. With fireworks the price they are today, and the possibility of something dreadful happening.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what the worst thing is that can happen to anybody, and it's not being blown up by a firework.
What's that, Sunshine?
Getting old.
Now, what do you say, Mrs. Sharples?
Everybody's going to a heck of a lot of trouble to get rid of me.
Oh, Ina, you take the biscuit, you really do. Everybody's trying to do what's best for you, and all you'll do is suspect their motives.
I've lived a long number of years, don't forget, Minnie Colwyn, and I've learned to suspect folk, especially when they're trying to help me.
Oh, I wash my hands of you, Ina. You don't deserve helping.
Nobody's asked you to do handstand for me, Minnie Colwell.
Oh, well, I'm going. If you want to make yourself more ill, you carry on. Just see if I care.
Oh, now, come on, let's not fall out, eh?
Well, she'd fall out with a saint, she would.
Mrs. Sharples, you don't have to only take my word for it that nothing will change while you're away. You can take the committee's word, and the council's, if you like. What more do you want?
She wants it in writing.
I want out at salt.
Well, then why don't you go to St. Anne's and get some colour back in your cheeks?
Because you're all going on about me to go, that's why. There's you, there's Ernie Bishop, there's that hysterical wife of his, and now there's you, Len Fairclough. If you'd all left me alone, I'd probably have been there by now.
Oh, I'll wash my hands of you.
I better cancel that taxi we had laid on for you, too. I better get on to St. Anne's and all, because they had one waiting at the station for you.
There's not.
As true as I'm standing here.
Everybody is going to a heck of a lot of trouble, aren't they?
Because we want you to get better, that's all.
Oh, well, I'd better go pack a case then. Nobody's ever going to accuse me of not being grateful. Not like some as I could mention.
Is there really a taxi laid on and all, Mr. Fairclough?
Not yet, love. But there will be.
There he is. What did I tell you? Dinner at 12, indeed. He has it when it suits him.
He's forgotten what time it is. Now, don't you upset him.
You can't upset Uncle Albert.
Well, look who's here. The happy couple. You surprised everyone, didn't you, Kenneth?
Surprised ourselves, Mrs. Walker.
Indeed. Anyway, belated congratulations.
Thank you.
I would like to offer my congratulations also.
Oh, thank you very much. Would you like a drink, Alan?
Same again, thank you very much.
Good. Uncle Albert?
I thought you'd never ask. Drop a rum.
Your dinner's in the oven, you know.
Huh?
And a pint for me, please. What's your drink again, love? I've forgotten.
I think we'd only met yesterday. A glass of bitter, please.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Not the gallant, attentive Casanova he looks, is he?
No.
No.
Hey up, do you want to make a run for it?
No.
My Auntie Annie will throw you out if you spill blood, you know.
Hello, Lucy.
Norma.
I'm in the chair, Lucille.
Oh, thanks, Ken. Gin and tonic, please.
All right. Norma?
Same, please, Ken.
Right. You've heard the good news, have you, Lucille?
Yes, just from Norma. Pulled a fast one in the end, didn't you, Ken?
Played it cool, you know. Isn't that right, then?
That's right, love.
Rather sly, I think.
Cheers, Ken. And congratulations.
Thank you, Norma.
Right. Now, who's going to bake the parkin? Who's going to make the treacle toffee? And who's going to provide the potatoes for a bonfire party?
Well, I'll buy the spuds. Baking's a bit beyond me.
What's your interest in the bonfire, Alan?
He is only the officer commanding, that's all.
Oh, I can just see him now parading round, spoiling everyone's fun.
No, I won't. Lucille, I'll simply see to it that people behave decently and safely.
It's a tall order, Alan.
Well, I don't see why.
I'll bake a couple of parkins if I may.
Great.
Would you, dear? Thank
And I'll make the treacle toffee.
Well, that's super. It's going to be a great party. We should have bonfire parties more often.
$34, $35, $36. I said I had more than you.
Only 3 more? You've not got any air bomb, Peter.
I've got a parachute, though.
Hey, should we light the fire ourselves?
We're to wait for Mr. Edward.
We should have had our own fire without flipping grown-ups.
Mr. Edward's all right.
Yeah, dear. That should be enough, shouldn't it?
Oh, I think so, Mrs. Walker, yes. Thank you.
You know, Alan, I think it's so wise to keep these fireworks under your personal control, because that's how accidents happen, isn't it? A spark falling into a child's pocket when it's full of bangers.
It couldn't be full of bangers if you couldn't buy fireworks now, could
Well,
it?
obviously not, Len.
You're getting a bit of a bore on the subject of fireworks, aren't you, Len? Bonfire nights are some of the highlights in a child's lifetime. I used to look forward to them for months.
At what price?
Everything has a price, Len. This is life.
Flaming ridiculous, that is. A kid half burnt to death, maimed for life. That's inflation, mate.
Accidents happen.
Not if you couldn't buy fireworks, they wouldn't.
You want to take the motor cars off the streets because of the
Not
accident?
the same thing.
Look, Len, you can't wrap people up in cotton wool, love. You have to take precautions, but you have to live life, and that involves risks, including the children's risks.
Rubbish.
I wonder.
What, dear?
If Alan would feel the same way if he had some kids of his own and they were letting off fireworks tonight.
I've had a son, Betty. We had some marvellous bonfires in the old days. Nobody ever got hurt. You just see to it that there aren't any accidents. That's what I'm going to do tonight. A pint, please, love.
By heck, it's the first I've ever seen.
Hey?
A real live guy. Shouldn't you be on top of that bonfire?
No, I put our Hilda up there.
What a splendid idea.
Oh, she struggled a bit, but she's settled down now.
Oh, she liked to be centre of attraction, yeah.
Stan, you're going to give me a hand with the bonfire?
Not likely. I've had 2 bangers in my bucket and 2 flip-flops under my ladder already.
There you are, mate. You're on your own.
All right, suit yourselves. Give us a hand with the door, will you?
all right.
It's going to be a great night, you know.
He's like a little boy. I think it's time he grew up.
Well, look all right, do they?
Right. Looks proper gradely. We couldn't taste a bit, could we?
No, we couldn't. It's for the kids, not for septuagenarians with great big eyes bigger than the great big tummies.
Of course you can have a piece, Mr. Tatlock.
Oh, have you ever felt yourself being ganged up against?
You should have more respect for your elders.
Yeah, not to mention your betters.
There you are.
Ta.
Pass muster.
Not bad. Not as good as some I've had, but better than most.
Oh, you're the bluntest man alive, aren't you, Uncle Albert? He carries the truth like a torch, or should I say, sledgehammer.
Look, I speak my mind.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
Well, voted again.
Shut up!
Are you coming to the bonfire party with us tonight?
No, I'm getting a bit old for things like that. Look, there's some fireworks in here I bought for the twins. Pity to waste them. I'll just go and make myself a cup of cocoa.
He thinks a lot of the twins, doesn't he?
Yeah, yes, he'd like to have them down here permanently. Still, who wouldn't?
Yeah.
Janet,
What?
you think I could have just a teeny-weeny bit of parking? I haven't done any parking for years. Oh, great. Just like my mother used to make. We don't have to take all out to the bonfire, do we?
Talking about kids, I've got a couple in the house already. What was there between you and Norma?
What makes you think there was anything?
Don't hedge. It was written all over her face. In the pub at dinner time.
It was mostly on her side.
Regular little Romeo, weren't you?
Anyway, it's all behind me now.
It is.
There you go.
She could have easily let me go to that bonfire. I love roasting spuds and eating them in the light of the dying embers. It's very romantic.
Why not try one of your sudden headache stunts?
Oh, no. I don't want to overdo them. I like to keep them on hand for very promising dates.
You have any these days?
No.
Oh.
They won't really send you to prison if you don't pay that VAT, will they?
They could. Why?
Nothing. We're just looking at my future and thinking how black it were.
Well, what about mine? It's pitch black.
Which is why mine's same. Your future being my future and vice versa. That's right, isn't it?
Yeah, of course it is.
I wonder
What?
if Ken really and truly wanted to marry Janet, or did she just steer him into it without him really knowing what were happening? You can see she's a very strong character.
Let me say that again.
And you'd know, wouldn't you? Fancying her yourself once.
I was infatuated by a younger woman.
And some. Hey, maybe I could take a leaf out of her book.
How?
By steering you towards an altar.
I'm not an easy pushover like Ken Barlow, you know.
Yeah. Hey, you don't fancy a game of darts, do you?
No. You'd only beat me again and make me feel inferior.
Which you are.
True.
All quiet, girls.
Well, you can see for yourself, Mrs. Walker.
Oh, they'll be back later. Their throats parched with wood smoke. Know what I've been doing? What? Reliving it.
That's what you've been doing.
Those delicious days in France. They're not as coarse as we are, you know.
Who aren't?
French.
Aren't they?
No, they seem to be able to enjoy themselves with more dignity and decorum than we do. Mind you, there are fewer Stanley Ogdens. That makes a difference.
Well, I'd go along with that.
Our friends in Charleville are sending a small delegation here very shortly.
Oh.
Oh, well, that should be very nice.
Thrilling.
I shall have to spearhead the welcome, of course.
Of course. Who else?
And there's another small social occasion I'm thinking of organising.
Somebody's let on 21.
No, love. A little reception for Kenneth and his bride. Nothing grand. Just a few close friends. But the marriage seems to have started in rather a workaday way. We don't want them getting off on the wrong foot, do we? No.
kill yourselves.
Somebody get an ambulance! Mark's been burnt.
The drama continues on our Trick and Treat special when Curly donates a massive firework and Bet has an explosive date.